My name is April Capil. I'm a health coach, and this is my 5 things I wish I knew before I started my second chapter. Thing number 1, when you're right, you're right. My sister says this all the time. It's a take on Henry Ford's quote, whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. I always hear this phrase in my head when I'm talking to someone who's trying to convince me that they can't possibly do something. Maybe it's that they can't give up carbs because they just get tired when they work out. Or it's that they can't serve vegetables for dinner because their children would revolt. Their spouse would, go bananas. Or maybe they can't get enough sleep. They can't possibly get 8 hours of sleep because they have so much work to do. What's funny is literally millions of people accomplish these impossible things every day. Working mothers manage to get 8 hours of sleep. They function more optimally than their sleep-deprived peers, magically getting more work done in fewer waking hours. There are Crossfitters who are on keto and they're eating less than 50 grams of carbs a day, but they still manage to get in a pre-dawn workout on an empty stomach and not fall asleep on the way to work. There are plenty of families who eat vegetables every single night for dinner without anything erupting into World War III. Honestly, where there's a will, there's a way. And when you're right, you're right. So if your will is to find an excuse that lets you build a case for why you can't do something, why it's not possible for you, you will find a way. Speaking of which, the second thing I wish someone had told me before I started my second chapter. Lots of people want things to be different, but few people are willing to change. I'm guilty of this myself. I want to wear a smaller pant size, but I don't want to give up white rice. Some things in life are mutually exclusive, like self-destruction and self-care. If you keep on doing what you've always done, you're going to keep on getting what you've always gotten. You have to make a change if you want to get a different result. You have to learn something new in order for an opportunity to become available to you. Or change what you eat in order to force your body to burn stored fat instead of glycogen. You have to live on less money if you want to be able to save more for retirement. The amazing part is, even though you have to change for things to be different, it's usually not as hard as you imagine it'll be. Small steps taken every day add up over time. And the beauty is, sometimes the changes are so small, you barely notice them. Swapping cottage cheese for oatmeal for breakfast, or making your own coffee instead of spending $5 on a daily latte. Reading or listening to one new book a month, one new book a week. Even changes that are tough at first can become routine after a while. And the next thing you know, your growth and development is on autopilot. And you wake up one day feeling like a new and improved you. Don't be afraid of change and realize that if you want things to be different, you are going to have to change. The third thing I wish someone had told me before I started my second chapter is the most powerful thing you can do is believe in yourself. Nothing can derail or discourage you like a lack of faith in yourself. It's that voice that says, "Who are you kidding? Why are you to even try? No one thinks you can do this." That tired narrative can turn what could have been your big break into a wasted opportunity. And that's why it's important to notice and correct your negative self-talk. I'm not encouraging you to go through life like some blithe Pollyanna, just to not tear yourself down because you're having a bad day. Everybody has a bad day. When my confidence is low, I turn into a forensic detective. I make a list of all the evidence that I'm enough, that I'm worthy of success, and that everything is going to turn out for the best, one way or another. When I don't get something right, I remind myself that human biology is designed to learn. It's designed to adapt and bounce back. You literally cannot build a muscle without tearing it down. So as long as you keep learning, you're going to keep growing. The fourth thing I wish someone had told me when I was starting my second chapter is if you're looking for what's holding you back, look no further than what you get defensive about. See, we know in our hearts what's good for us. If there's anything that meditation has done for me, it's helped me connect with my inner voice. That part of me that loves me unconditionally, that accepts me for who I am, that knows what I really need to be my best self. And whenever I find myself justifying something or getting defensive around it, I know that I've come up against a true handicap, a limiting belief or behavior that my inner me knows is just not good for me. It might be holding me back out of fear or anxiety or maybe just a lack of confidence. But when I'm noticing that I'm getting kind of protective or defensive around something, it's always a signal that I'm not being honest with myself. I'll start saying things like, there's nothing wrong with ordering another bottle of wine, or, blind dates are the absolute worst. All of a sudden, I hear that little voice ask, why do you feel the need to argue for the rightness of this? And the answer is usually because what I'm arguing for is not good for me. That extra glass of wine is not good for me. The rejection of an opportunity to meet someone new isn't good for me. There's always something else going on. A desire to not end the party so soon, or a fear of being rejected or stood up. And that's usually what that defensiveness or justification is really about. Our limiting beliefs are what we fight hard to preserve, even though they're usually the thing that holds us back from being our best selves. The fifth thing that I wish someone had told me when I was starting my second chapter is that success comes from reps. Ask any bodybuilder and they will tell you there are no shortcuts. If luck is just preparation meeting opportunity, then the preparation is usually coming from years of trying and failing and dusting yourself off so you can get back up and try again. Resilience and strength come from practice, doing the reps. What looks like a quantum leap is often just a reframing of all the pieces that you've been collecting that suddenly aligns them in a way that gives you an aha moment. And when we get that aha moment, we forget that all those pieces took a lot of time to collect. And what looks like overnight success is actually the result of someone who has spent years building their skill sets, practicing, falling, getting better, doing the reps, just so they would be ready when the right opportunity comes along. Those are my 5 things I wish I knew before I started my second chapter. Thanks.